I'm wearing this cool little. I'm gonna get a
like
little.
it. Look, space in her
So
brain.
I'm gonna get a little influencery. It's called Universe in You. It's a unisex shirt, and you can go to Space Cream Clothing on Instagram. And if you
Wow.
use my little discount code, you get 20%
What?
off.
You have a discount code for some.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, we're done talking about clothes.
Well, probably not, but
Maybe.
welcome to the Gallifrey Gals Get Wibbly Wobbly. Thank you for being here. My name is Paula.
And I am KATRINA.
We are closing in on the end of series 6 here.
I'm so pumped. We're gonna finish it today. It's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen? For us, not for you, obviously.
Sorry.
Come out once a week for you.
Yeah, we have flown. It's just so crazy because I just keep thinking of all the stuff we have coming up and what we've been through. Yeah, we're on episode 10.
Man.
We are in the latter half of the season.
Sure.
What was I just rambling on? Oh, just how different this Moffat era is from RTD, like Russell Davies era. Like it's just it's just crazy. We're in such a different time.
It's definitely different, and I can see how I get the sense that the fan base is a little split over it, and I can see why. You know, we've talked about this a little bit in our last episode.
Very different.
So, but I am really liking where this season has been going. This series has been going, and a British friend got on to me yesterday for saying season of their series. He's like, it's a British show. We call them series. I was like, fine.
Like, fine.
So I'm trying.
Series.
But I definitely am liking 6 better than 5.
Yeah.
And I didn't
Which is so
I didn't
funny because
5, but there were things about 5 that, there were things about season 5 that I didn't like as much, or that like made me kind of angry. But I really enjoyed the story arc and the things that have been happening with 6. And I wonder if that's just because Rory's been here for more of it. I really like Rory.
He's
like, they've just all settled in. Like, they're together. We're not worried about that. You know, there's not that weird, really tension with, sexual tension as much with, almost said Rose. Oh my goodness. With Amy and the doctor.
Yeah.
And I just really like, it's kind of like, we talked about this before, some things that I liked about Donna as a companion is that we weren't trying to make the doctor anyone's boyfriend anymore. We were just letting people be friends. And sometimes I want really good romance. Let me tell you, sometimes I really want.
Sometimes we want it.
Oh, will they, won't they? You keep watching. We keep watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. You're going to see that.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoy with the doctor when the companion is less of a romantic-y interest, I think, and more of like a friend. And it's just nice to see them all kind of have settled into that scenario.
And then you throw in River.
Well, River's like a fun, because she's like this totally different kind of character, so it's fun to get to watch them like have their thing. Like, that's fun. I don't know why. I can't put my finger. It's too early in the morning for me to articulate like why that feels different.
Well, it's just like Rory said in that one episode where when she was just like going off and breaking into the door, she's like, it's a locked door, I gotta go in. And he's like, God, I can see it. He's like, I really get it. You too. you know, there's a vibe there that she has, which how could she not? She's a child of
the
TARDIS, and she had, so there's this way of, and just like we just saw, her whole life literally started just how she described it to us episodes beforehand. He fell out of the sky, knew every last bit about her, like, so there's this whole interesting dynamic between the two of them. And it's like, it's that whole, like you just said, will they, won't they? Because every time we see them, we're like, where are they in the timeline? How much do they know about each other? Are they, what's going on? Like, and then they're like, no, they don't remember.
Yeah. It's
and you're
interesting.
Just like, no.
So yeah, there's just things I feel like more settled and comfortable with all the characters, I think.
Yeah.
And that might be part of why I'm enjoying this one more, but also I just think it's a better overall storyline so far.
And and everyone is so different on all of these things. You know, I know Whovians who, like I've told you, don't like River Song's story and don't like Series 6 and prefer Series 5 over Series 6. So everyone's got their own taste. Everyone's got their own, you know.
Everyone's different, and that's just life, and that's also fine. Like the show has enough seasons that you can have the ones that you like and the ones that you don't and still be a fan, and it like doesn't matter. That's what I think. Like there's enough to choose from where everyone can have a thing that they like for them.
Yes. And my other thing is that I wish, because we'll get to, without too many spoilers, we will get to an era that I have very, very different opinions about than other people. And I normally feel like I'm the outcast on it. But even in those moments and even in those further series, there are still moments that I thoroughly enjoy and really like and held on to help me get through the moments I really did not enjoy as much. So yeah, that's why, I mean, I just love it all for some reason, whether it be little or big, you know. But
well, after all that gabbing, let's watch the episode. Is there anything you want to tell me about it before we watch it, or you just want to get going?
It is called The Girl Who Waited.
The Girl Who Waited. Now that sounds like it's about Amy, but the whole show's about Amy, according to the opening.
According to BBC America.
So weird.
I hate it.
It's pretty cheesy. I mean, I get it. And they're like, oh, some new Americans are going to start watching the show.
They're like, we got to pull them in.
Yeah, they need to understand what's going on. Interesting. But all kinds of people wait for the Doctor or wait for anyone else. So who knows?
Who knows?
Okay, well, let's watch it.
Yay.
Doors, yes. I mean, I give you doors, but on the other side of those doors, I give you sunsets, spires, soaring silver.
It's interesting how much more appealing I find Matt Smith this season.
Your mobile telephone, I bring you to a paradise planet.
You definitely settle in more the further you get.
Sunset spires,
and you want to update
Twitter. On the counter by the DVDs.
Thank you.
How do we get in?
I don't know.
It's an interesting jacket he's got on right now.
I don't know.
This is Red Waterfall.
Oh, this is, I think, one of his newer jackets.
Yeah, it's kind of got that interesting little thing at the end. It's almost like David Tennant-y. No, tell her what button to push, you dummies.
I know, right?
You know how this works. Come on.
I know.
Great.
Oh, stay calm, stay still. Time's gone wobbly. I hate it when it does that.
Oh, she's waiting and waiting and waiting.
Good question.
Time's gone wobbly.
What's the answer to not get us killed? It's okay, I've got you, you're fine.
I don't know. Is it gonna get him to the right place? No, because time happens differently in there.
Amy?
To get a lock on you and smash through using the TARDIS to get you out. Until then, you're
Did
on your
her
own.
time glass leave when he moved his?
Vandalism,
yes.
That'll be the small act of vandalism alarm. Amy, I need you to go into the facility.
Vandalism alarm.
Now, go.
Their kindness will kill you. Interesting.
Check in.
Rory, I love you.
Hello.
Hello, Rory.
I do like those glasses. I like anyone with glasses, apparently, because I thought they both got cuter when they put those on.
Yep.
No regeneration. You will be my eyes.
No problem.
You kidding me? Anytime David Tennant put his on, I was just like...
Now, smashing through a time warp could get a bit hairy.
Is it safe?
Dunno, never tried. Best hold on to something.
Oh, God.
Unauthorized infection on check-in.
Just immediately horrifying. Attack of the Clones. This is a kindness. Do not want. Ugh. Horrible. It's horrible. Isn't it funny how something as simple as a robot hand can suddenly be so creepy?
Yep. Just all of a sudden.
I was too distracted by them looking cute with the glasses on. What do the glasses do?
We made it. Good on us.
They are a camera.
Thank you.
Focus on the positive.
We locked onto Amy's time stream.
From here, you may depart to any of 2 streams' entertainment zones.
Basically a holodeck.
Cinema.
That's right, she gotta find somewhere to hide. How did they not see her? I don't know yet. I don't know. We're gonna find out, but I don't know yet.
We will find out eventually.
Because that's how shows work.
Oh, so cool.
Alice in Wonderland, yo.
Yes.
Temporal engines held within.
Okay.
Ah!
Do not be alarmed. This is a kindness.
Ha! Don't like that, do you?
Yeah.
Ah,
Distorted. Poor lipstick.
I know, right?
I feel like as a woman, I should be carrying lipstick with me everywhere because according to the movies, I need to use it to write messages all the time.
Like, you never know when it's gonna happen, but you should have one.
You're gonna need to write a message in lipstick.
What happens if we mix the filters? There they are. 40,000 time streams overlapping.
They're all in that room at the same time, but not really the same time.
Peace.
I waited.
Baby.
Doctor.
36 years. Thanks.
No. Right. I mean, you look great. I don't care that you got old. I care that we didn't grow old together. Let me come on, please.
She went all like video game badass.
You had no choice.
Oh.
Sit down.
That's her Wilson.
Did you just hear what she said? Sit down, Rory.
Yeah.
You named him after me.
Needed a bit of company.
Oh.
So he's like your
Pet. Then try not to get killed. Or do. Whatever.
Man, she hardened. Seriously.
When I first came
Yeah.
here, I had to trick the interface into giving me information. I think that's the first time I've laughed in 36 years.
Be back in a minute. There's still time, Amy.
Paula.
There's still time to fix everything.
He wants to rescue past me from 36 years back, which means I'll cease to exist. Everything I've seen and done dissolves. Time is rewritten.
You'll die in here.
I'm so sorry, but Rory...
No, this is your fault. You should look in a history book once in a while, see if there's an outbreak of plague or not.
That is not how I travel.
Then I do not want to travel with you.
I remember this.
Who's she? There's no one else here, but...
That's why I'm refusing to help now.
It was just this
And that's why you refuse to help when it's your turn.
unending cycle.
And nothing you can say will change that. 3 words. What about Rory? Sometimes you meet someone so beautiful, and then you actually talk to them, and 5 minutes later they're as dull as a brick. Then there's other people, and you meet them and you think, not bad, they're okay. And then you get to know them, and their face just sort of becomes them. Like their personality's written all over it. Rory's the most beautiful man I've ever met. You're Amy, he's Rory.
That's destiny.
I'm gonna pull time apart for you.
Sometimes knowing your own future is what enables you to change it, especially if you're bloody-minded, contradictory, and completely unpredictable. Yes, if anyone could defeat predestiny, it's your wife.
Macarena. Macarena.
What? The Macarena.
First kiss.
Leave it to
Oh, it's so fucking weird.
It is weird.
Hello.
Oh no. I think old Amy's gonna have to sacrifice herself to make any of this work. That's what I think is gonna happen. And then after this, she went, I'm ready for Marvel, I think.
I know, right? Then she got fucking cast as Nebula and shaved her head for it.
Pretty cool. He's gonna close the door on her. I thought she was gonna sacrifice herself, but he's gonna.
You do, but I lied to her, Rory.
Rory, please. Amy, I love you. I love you too.
Did you always know it would never work? Saving both Amy's.
Yeah, but he did.
I promised you I'd save her, and there she is.
Where is she?
That's how the episode ends?
That's
What a weird ending.
it.
I don't like the end.
Yeah.
I needed, they just from a technical standpoint, they needed to like hold on a shot for like a half a
Like
second.
2 seconds longer.
It's
Yeah.
Like that was very strange. It felt like an error. That is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get cheesy, I think, for a minute. But like, I think that was an incredibly beautiful episode of this show. I think it was so well written. I think that the love story between Rory and Amy is so pure and beautiful
Yeah.
and romantic. And they both do for each other. They both now have waited for the other one.
Yes.
They both sacrificed for the other one. It is so evenly balanced. They are such a beautiful example of what I think everyone probably wants their relationship to be
Their
like.
love. Yeah. They want their love to feel and look like.
Gosh, and I just thought she did such a good job playing the old version of herself.
I'm so glad that they let.
Cool fighting.
Yeah. I'm so glad they let her play herself because they were
really
originally going to try to cast a different person to play the older Amy.
I don't think it would have been as effective because it would have felt like a different person.
There wouldn't have been that emotional.
And I think they did overall a really good job with her age makeup.
Yes,
overall, they did a pretty good job.
incredible. And she did a remarkable job acting wise as well. And the writer of this episode, Tom, if I'm pronouncing his last name right, McRae, he said it's one of his most accomplished pieces of plotting ever, is how he felt about this episode.
I just think really beautiful and deeply sad.
Yes. Because while yes, technically that Amy will not have existed, but she died.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. But at the end, for her to be like, I'm going to give the other Amy, I'm giving my younger self. It's kind of like this idea of like, if you could go back to your younger self and give them something that would change the way your life ended up going. Like, wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you want to do that for yourself? And she kind of does that for herself. And I think one downside potentially of I love this focus on Rory and Amy. I really love it. Yes. One potential downside of it is that we don't really get to see as much how these events are affecting the Doctor because we're seeing how they're affecting Rory and Amy. And so I feel like we get a little less of the Doctor in some ways. And he's kind of the facilitator of their story as opposed to them being along for the ride on his story, which is fine. But like, she told him she hated him. And Rory got very upset with the Doctor in this episode as well. Said, I don't want to travel with you anymore. But we aren't really getting, this episode didn't allow us any moments to truly see how that is or isn't affecting the Doctor. And I'd like a little peek at that, personally. What were you going to say?
I think we had some minor moments of it. They're very subtle. And also, technically, the antagonist of this episode is the Doctor. He knew from the beginning that he wasn't going to be able to save both of them. And he chose to lie. I know, but he chose to lie to Amy, both of them, and Rory, and then put Rory in a position where he had to choose between the two. Which was kind of fucked up. And it kind of makes him more of the antagonist in this episode.
So if he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have been able to save. He had to do that, I think.
Yeah.
Is my interpretation or my opinion. You know, different people might feel differently about it.
And something I want to kind of comment on is I've seen both people who love and hate this episode. And I've seen people who dislike this episode talk about how Amy's just super whiny and really like, ugh, she's so ungrateful and like all these things because Rory waited for 2,000 years and blah, blah, blah. And she only waited. Like, there's this whole conversation about that. But even just rewatching it, it's such a different scenario. Like,
they waited
Rory,
in very different circumstances.
And Rory technically, like he said, like he doesn't fully remember everything. It comes in waves because it's 2,000 years that technically got compressed and then didn't exist. And she
was in like post-apocalyptic.
She was secluded with absolutely nobody.
And having to like keep from dying every day. Like literally like absolute survival mode for 36 years. It's a little different, I think.
I agree completely. I think it's two totally different scenarios. And I think that her 36 years alone is just as tormenting and just as, you know, horrendous as what he had gone through to wait for her, you know?
I mean, just think about how difficult it's been to be in like lockdown for 6 months.
Like, exactly. And that's still getting to like, you know, you get to still be around your husband. I still get to be around, you know, like just imagine that just like alone by yourself and also in fight mode. Like every single moment. And she taught herself how to make a sonic screwdriver. She reprogrammed, cool, you know, like she took what she knew from the TARDIS and space travel and time travel and taught herself how to survive. Which I don't know if Rory could do, you know, like if the scenarios were switched, I don't know if either of them could handle what the other one went through. You know, like I don't know if Amy could have handled 2,000 years as the lone centurion standing by the, you know, box. But I don't know if Rory would have survived 36 years on his own trying to fight for his life.
It's also different waiting.
Smacked the robot.
Waiting for X number for 2,000 years or whatever with a purpose. I'm guarding this thing, and at some point, it's gonna be fine. But waiting to know, will the person come and save me?
Or am I just literally
different
stuck
context
here?
For like how you are weighted. It's not just they both waited. You know, it's different. But
it's two very different scenarios in my mind, and every time I rewatch it, I'm like, ugh, it's not the same.
Yeah, this is I think this episode is at the top of my list of like favorite episodes of the whole show. I just thought it was really, really beautiful, and interesting and
gorgeous,
nuanced and complicated, and a theme that I am seeing over and over again this season is two of people. This is like not the first episode now where we're dealing with two doppelgangers, if you will.
Doppelgangers
and how that affects.
Yeah, and in the short ones we watched, the time and space, when they were stuck in those little episodes we watched, where Amy and Rory, like there was a double Amy, and like, you know, like there's just been lots of.
And like in the first one where we see the doctor die, there's technically two doctors in that one, even though it's the same doctor, just at different.
Even though it's the same doctor, just different timelines. It's been one hell of a series with that.
A lot of the episodes have dealt with two of one person. It's been an interesting thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. You start to wonder. I feel like we're getting to the point with these companions, and I don't know how long Matt Smith is the doctor, and I don't know when a new companion comes along. But I feel like they do get to the point in their story where they see more of the like darkness and danger, and they all start to go, well, maybe I don't want to keep going.
Because
you have to wonder when Amy and Rory will go, okay, that's enough. Like I'm at this point sort of expecting maybe maybe they leave at the end of this season and he gets a new companion next season. I don't know, but
yeah, and I'm not telling.
That's the vibe I'm feeling at the moment, but we'll see.
You know, Rory had that moment where he was listening to older Amy, and the doctor was just like, you don't get both, you pick one. And Rory was just like, you're turning me into you.
Yeah. I
don't want that. You know, like they've seen multiple times that and the more we watch Matt Smith, and now that you've seen Eccleston and Tennant and, you know, some of Matt Smith, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, Matt Smith's doctor's just so whimsical and fun and la 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 la. But it's like, he's more, in my opinion, darker than the other doctors. He's more fucked up. Because of his ability to just be like, no, I'm whimsical. I'm not gonna, you know, like, I'm just gonna move past it.
Yeah, he either compartmentalizes his ability to do something really dark or do something really fun. And it's like, those are the two places we're in.
Yeah.
Like, this doctor would never, he totally compartmentalizes. And maybe this is why part of me being like, oh, we're not seeing how these things are affecting him. And it's because he's shutting them out. Because like you have that moment with Tennant where, is it Donna or Martha? I can't remember now who. Someone's like, hey, are you okay? At one moment he goes, yeah, I'm always okay. And I remember we talked about it at the time because I was like, no, you're never okay. But here's the thing, Matt Smith's doctor, I don't think, one, you wouldn't ask that question to, and two, he wouldn't have given that answer. He would have just changed the subject. He wouldn't have responded.
He would have just skipped over it.
And that's like the difference in like where the doctor is at emotionally in this story, I think.
Exactly. And then you go as far back as Eccleston, who he had just come from murdering all of his people. You know, like all of Gallifrey. He had to kill them. And he might have looked like a badass with his leather jacket, but he was such a puppy dog.
Yeah.
He was such a, you know, like everybody lives. You know, like he had such a hopeful, I don't want to be this terrible person. I want to, you know, when he looked the Dalek in the eyes and they were like, coward or this, and he was like, coward every time. I can't do this. I do not think Matt Smith would do that. I think if Matt Smith were in that same thing, he'd go, screw you, I'll kill us both. You know? So I'm loving that we're getting to that point now where you really can see
it's really interesting
how the doctor is growing in a sense, and how it's starting to take effect on him in a longer course of time.
It's really interesting.
So, and this is this cast, it's the shortest of any full length since the modern series. There was only 5 of them. I think the cast list was only 5, but it was still only mainly.
All right. Well, I hope the next one is cheerful.
We'll see.
Cool. Well, join us next time, y'all, as your Gallifrey gals continue to get wibbly wobbly.
And watch more Who.
Who?
The Doctor.
The Doctor. I hope a happy doctor. Give me a happy doctor, please.
She needs it.
Okay, bye.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a little thumbs up, and if you want to be notified when we post new content, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit that little bell in the corner.